see where Michael is, and see his minesweeper.
Connect to the projector or the laptop?
To the laptop. Did you just cast your tab, or did you cast your entire screen?
I hit cast, and then...
I think you just casted your... Let me stop.
Both screens.
Yeah, so do it again. There we go. No? Why am I just getting just your...
It says both screens.
Let's see. Let's do this. Don't use use airplane instead. Go up to the top of your screen. Move your cursor to the top. Oh, you don't have. Go to preferences, system preferences. And then display. Go back, type in airplane. Yes. Oh, your computer doesn't have airplane. Your computer's too old for airplane. So close this. Go back to your browser. Chrome. Go back to Chrome, and then do the casting. Yep. So cast. But before you click, don't click too fast. Yes. Go back. Click on cast 2. Desktop. Laptop.
It still says local host.
That's fine. Do it one more time. I didn't get you. Oh, there it is. Yeah, now we have your entire screen. Cool. Okay. So let's see what's working in your game so far.
Clicks.
Okay. So let's take a look at your app. So you've got some stuff in here. You've got a game board. You've got, scroll down, you've got some, please choose a difficulty, and you've got your cells. Cells. So you're passing down value, row, and column, and a check function. Let's go look at your cell class. So your cell class has, you're rendering a TD, and inside of that is your value, and your on-click is this.check. So here in your event, instead of console logging, let's call this.props whatever you call the function you're passing in your app. So go to your app.js briefly, right? And you called it check. See the function check? Check equals this.check. So the thing on the left is the property. So we want to call check this.props.check. Open and close parentheses.
Inside?
Yes. But we don't do this inside of an interpolation. This is just JavaScript code. So we're not doing React interpolation here. So get rid of the curly braces. This is just plain old JavaScript code. 4+5 kind of stuff without interpolation. So open and close parentheses. And then we need to look at your check function in app.js to see what it takes. So if you go back to your app.js, you'll find your check function at the top of your code. Nope, look for your check function at the top of your code. Go to the top of your code. Go to the top of your file. Check function. You don't have it yet, so we need to implement it. So we need a check function here that's going to get called by the cell. So outside of load game diff and outside of render, we need a check function. So check equals a function that's going to take some arguments. Right? It's an arrow function, so after the arguments, arrow, open and close braces for our function. Inside of here, let's just say console log click. Console log and make a console log and a string that says clicked. Yep, maybe say clicked from app. Clicked from app. So if we get this now when we click on the square, we've got some, we're going to get rid of those in a minute. So now click, 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 click. Let's go look at your cell. You didn't save your cell file. So this is the thing I see students do. I want you to get in the habit of typing 5 characters and hitting save. Part of your process should be type, 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 save, type, 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 save, type, type, save, right? Because at least half a dozen times it's like, oh, you didn't save. Oh, you didn't save. So now if you click, you should get click from app. Cool. So what do we also want to know when we click? And we want to know where. Yeah. So from line 5, pass to the check function 2 things. Inside, pass this.props.row. This.props.row. Row. And also pass it this.props.call, or whatever you called it in here. This.props. You just go back to your app to see if you spelled it out or not. Down below, did you spell it out? Yes, okay. So go ahead and save your cell. Now go back to your app. Go back to your app.js. And inside of your render function, inside of your check function at the top, go to the top of your code, find your check function, and add 2 arguments inside of the parentheses. Yep, where the arguments go, row and column. And add 2 more console logs. Console log row and console log column. And console log column. Column. All right, save this and let's look at your game. So now as you click around, 7, 1, 6, 6, 3, so forth and so on. Now all you have to do is tell the API where you click. So inside of load game diff, that Axios call, copy lines 30 through 36. Highlight lines 30 through 36. Copy that and paste it after line 41. After line 41, but before line 42. Paste that. So we're now going to tell the API that we clicked. So you've got to turn the URL into a dynamic string with backticks instead of double quotes. So change your double quotes on line 44 to backticks. Change the other one to a backtick. Now we go look at the API documentation. After games, we put the ID. Right, so find where you find the documentation for checking. So that's a new game. That's retrieve a game. See what it says? We're going to find the one that says check a square. Here it is. Right, so it's ID check. So after games, you have to change the ID to a $sign ID. Nope, before the, yep, $sign. And it's not ID, it's this dot state dot ID. And then we got to pass it 2 things, the row and the column. So after your backtick, put a comma. We're going to pass it 2 parameters, so we'll put them inside of an object, so braces. Right? And the first thing is the row, so braces, row colon, and then the row is stored in what variable? Row. And the call, COL, colon, is stored in what variable? column. Nope, so you pass it in as column. UMN. Yep. Nope, so the left thing is what the nope. The left thing, so slow and listen. Your challenge is slow and listen. Slow and listen. Go slower to go fast. The API is expecting a call. That goes on the left. The thing on the left in the object is what the API is expecting. The thing on the right is what Michael decided to call his variables. So call gets column, row gets row. If you save this, we should be able to click on your game. Except you haven't made a new game. There we go. Hey, look at that. All right. No, yeah. So you look at your value and look at your row column. Yeah. So you're off by 1. Yeah. So you need a 0, 0, right? Your line 70 should be 0, 0, then 0, 1, then 0, 2. You just fix those up. All right. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, so forth and so on. Right? You probably have to do the same thing for Cohort 1. Yeah. Make a new game. See if you can click somewhere. Yep. So then all those got to be fixed. But then you just have to do the same thing for flag. Repeat the same process we did for check for flag. Make a function for flagging, pass it everywhere. So you have check. You want that same function, the whole function, the entire function. Nope, 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 nope. Grab the entire function. That's not the entire function. Nope. Slow down. Where's the opening of this function? The opening brace of this function, Michael. What line is it on? Nope. From your cursor, here's what I'm going to do. Take your hands off the keyboard. Look at the screen. Where's your blinking cursor? What line is it on? Work your way up until you find a line that has an opening parenthesis, opening curly brace. What line is that on? The very first line. Cool. Now, looking where your cursor is, look down until you find the matching closing brace. What line is that on? That's your entire function. That's the process you need to go through when we say select the entire function. You've got to find the opening and the close and grab all of those lines from 54 to 38. Copy that, make a new function, call it flag, change that there, change the check on line 64 to flag. Now pass flag, and every time you make a cell, pass the flag as well in addition to the check. So if you go down to find where you create your cells, in addition to passing check, also pass flag. Flag equals this dot flag, right? Check is the function when they check a cell, flag is the function when they flag a cell. Right? You're going to take that line and add it to every one of your calls to cell. Another 63 times. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Go all the way through. Yeah. So we got to do something. We got to do something more in your cell, though. There's more work to do in your cell. So in your cell class, in addition to an onClick, at the same place where you have the onClick, before your onClick, on context menu, context menu equals instead of this.check, call it this.flag. Now take your check function and duplicate it. So find your check function. Nope, in the cell. So you got a function for checking. You see it?
Yeah.
Nope. Where's the function? Yeah, there it is. Copy that function. Nope. Yeah. And make that flag. There's one more thing. There's one more place if you get rid of the pop-up. I love VS Code, but I hate that it pops shit up on top of your code all the time. Right? Yeah. Flag. There you go. Yes. So now make a new game and click on some flags and places. Right click. Right. But now see the menu pops up. In your flag function, you need to add event.prevent default. Doesn't matter before or after. Event.prevent default. Event. See the event argument that comes in? We're asking the event to prevent the default action. So the default action for right-clicking is to pop up that little menu. So you're telling it to prevent event dot prevent default. Nope, capital D. Prevent default. Prevent default is a function on event that says, please don't do what you would normally do. I'm telling the right click button, and you gotta call it. You gotta call that function. Yes. Prevent. You have default. It's default. Prevent default. DE. Default. Call that function. Nope, you're done there. Nope, it's with round brackets. So now see if you can make a new game and flag squares. Yep. Oops. The matrix is breaking up. Chromecast to me is breaking up. Okay. But you've pretty much got what you need, right? That's the main part. Everything else from here is making it pretty, right? Now you gotta fix up all your zeros and ones and your checks for your flags. You can go back and watch the video where we did the map of maps if you want maps of maps. But you're now decently on your way.
Like you did before. The only thing is how to the default menu change.
Yeah, we can't do that until you get maps of maps. So that won't help us because you can't do anything more than an 8x8 square yet. So cool. So we have time. Let's leave Mike and go to anybody else who wants to get theirs caught up, or at least to the point where we've got. Or does everybody else feel like they've got theirs?
I just need to check the flag function.
Oh yeah. So let's see yours, Ben. So Ben was trying to do the map of the map, but he was trying to do some stuff stored in the variables. Let's see what he's got. Do the airplay if you've got airplay. Airplay to me. Yes. Cool. So let's take a look at what you've got going on. Okay. So cool. So you put these into individual row 1, row 2, row 3 variables. So scroll down. Let's see how you use them. Yep, so you just have them there. So looking at this, right, I see you repeat these variables. That to me indicates there's a map. So let's go find your row 1. So let's duplicate your row one, your let row one, the entire thing. Yeah. So copy all of that and duplicate it. Oh, and let's call this game board like you were trying to do.
So just delete this line?
Yeah, delete that line. And say game board. Right? So we don't want to map over an individual row of the board. We want to get rid of the bracket 0. And this is not a square, but a row. Let's call this row index. Now inside of this function, before your return, so between lines 102 and line 103, let's say return, and we're going to take the row and we're going to map it. So it's going to be row.map, right? And it's going to take an argument, right? And the first one's going to be the value or the cell, and the second thing is going to be the column index. Column index. We have row index and we're going to have column index, right? And that's going to be an arrow function with a return. So just do this. Go back and finish the function first. Command Z. So open that brace and close it, and then go back inside, right? And we're just going to take the return you have down below and move it inside, so you don't have to type the word return. See the stuff you've got right there? That's perfect for inside. Just move that return up inside. And close on line 112, it's begging you to close the map with the parentheses. Save that. Now the column is not index, the column is what? It's column index.
You have to move your parentheses to the color back to the switch.
Yeah, you're missing one after one. You're missing another one after line 111.
What is it?
You're going to close the return. This is the return is waiting for a close. And then I think we've got one too many here. So delete line 114. Save. Nope. Let's see what we've got. So this, that is closing, and this is too much. And that's too much. Delete that. Delete, 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 delete. Where does that match to? That matches to there, and this one, the one to the right, matches there. I think that's fine. Save. Do you still have an error?
We're not closing the top.
Yes, we're not after this close here that closes this return. We're missing a closing of this function. Save that. Okay, I gotta look at it here because my notes. Okay, so here's what we do. Open, open, close. One parentheses is open. Bracket. Oh, this map needs an extra parentheses here. Right. There we go. Save that. So that green and that green go together. That yellow. Okay, so this closing one goes to that open one. That goes to there. That goes to there. That goes to. That looks right there. So that goes to there. That map. Oh, that map goes after. There's one after here. After 111. One more close parenthesis. Save. We got it. Okay, so cool. The value now comes from value, not from square. Cool. Down below, we can get rid of row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. All those row variables can go away. Yep. Instead of row 1, just say board, or game board. Get rid of all those. Game board. Save. Scroll up a little bit. Game board is this stuff. Oh, so around this return here, we gotta wrap this row in a TR. So before the row, put an open and close parentheses. Nope. First, undo, Command Z. So we want to wrap this whole thing, right? We want to put a whole bunch more stuff right here. So after the return, put a space, and then open and close round parentheses, and press enter. Cool. Now let's move that row map all the way inside. So it is from there to there. Move that up inside. Cool. Now before the row map, let's put a TR. An open TR. Yep. And let's put the closed TR after all of that. It's going to go after that closing right there. Cool. Now we got to wrap the row map inside of squirrely braces. And then after the parentheses here. Save that. So much syntax. Easy, medium, hard. Yep. You're gonna click, right click. Yep. Let's see how he did the easy, medium, hard, because he's got this working. So show us your buttons for easy, medium, and hard. They're probably down below. Show us the buttons first in the DOM. We got 3 buttons: easy game, medium game, and hard game. Easy, medium, hard. Let's go look at those functions. Easy, medium, and hard. So he just hard-coded. Right? When you click on easy, make a new game with difficulty 0. When you click on medium, make a new game with difficulty 1. You make expert. Yep, those are just on clicks for those buttons. Right? Because we had a click for 1 game. He just made 2 more buttons and specified the difficulty. That works too. You can do a drop down too. You just need an on change. Right? When you change easy, medium, hard, set the state. When you click the button, pull the state out. Yes, except instead of hard coding the difficulty, it'll be this.state.difficulty. So he could have, instead of having 3 buttons, could have a drop down. And when his drop down changes, he calls set state to the difficulty 0, 1, 2. And then when he clicks the button, it pulls the state back out and calls this function. Right? So when your difficulty changes on change of a drop down, right, instead of having 3 buttons, he just had 1 and added a select. The select would have an on change, and when it changes, the handler for that will say this.setState difficulty 0, 1, or 2, depending on if it was easy, medium, or expert. Then it is 1 button. You would just say, the handler would just say difficulty : this.state.difficulty. But this is perfectly acceptable too, just to have 3 buttons.
Why did
hard code it. Let's go look at your code where you're generating. Let's go down. Let's go down. Oh, find your board. Yes, that row should be row index. Yes. Yep. Cool. So if you want to make 3 buttons, awesome. That would be my like, hey, it works. Then if you want to try for like a little bit harder, make it a drop down with a button. So game message should be calling that function, not, so you would just have the function itself. Yes, but you're not calling it. So very carefully look at that code. This.game message is the function. This.game message parentheses is calling the function. Right. Otherwise, it's rendering. It's trying to put the function into the user interface. Yep. So now click on it and see. Click on one of those easy, medium, or hards and see, does your message change? Yep. Here's your game number. Yeah, we took a whole bunch more games out of the database. That's okay. Jason has one button. He can just set it back to 0.
I'm expanding it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, expand it a couple times.
Yeah.
Do we have time? Do we have time?
Yeah.
Try to figure out a
Cool.
function.
Cool. Cool. Why don't you share that? You got it. Why don't you share your screen with me? Airplay your screen with me. Okay. So you have easy game, medium game, and hard game. So is that what you're working on?
Yes, right now. So easy game works, but I can't. They all work, but without the map, the medium and hard game aren't going to do anything.
Right. So that's what you want to work on is the mapping?
I need to work on the clicking functions.
Okay. So let's go take a look at your DOM down below where you actually draw the board. Where's your board when you're drawing? Cool. So you've got cell value. So let's go look at your cell. Cool. So what we want here is we want an onClick function. So the very next thing is we need to be able to click. The first thing we do is we put an onClick on the TD. So add an onClick function to your TD. OnClick equals inside the TD. OnClick equals, oh, so you need some space. OnClick equals, and then inside of React braces, with this dot, you need to close your TD, and inside of there, closing this dot, whatever you want to call your function when a user clicks on a square. You can make up your own name, whatever you want to call it. Sure. Cool. Now go make a click function above your render. So click equals. So I want you to get in the habit, Alan, of starting your functions where they would go with Prettier. So don't start your functions here. Start your functions in line. Start writing code the way the neatness should happen. Undo. Start your function one tab in. That's where your function needs to go. If you start coding neat, you'll never have to clean up. So click equals a function that takes an event. And there's an arrow function. Yep, and inside of here, say console.log, they clicked. They clicked. In a string. In a string. That can be a single or it can be a back. Either is fine, they just have to match. Cool. So now click on a square. Except you have a typo. On click with a capital L. On click with a capital L. On click with a capital L. Try clicking on a square. Hey, they clicked. They clicked. They clicked. Now we have clicking on a square. What's the next thing we need to know?
The position.
Position. So go back to your board and pass that first cell 2 more props. A column and a row. Equals. Right, and you're going to notice that React is going to want you to not put spaces in there. What's the column?
0.
What's the row?
0.
Yep. Do 1 or 2 more. Right. Do the next 2. On line 68, what's the column and what's the row?
0, 1.
0, 1 and 0, 2. 0, 1 and 0, 2. Cool. Now instead of board.js, sorry, back in cell.js, add 2 more console logs at line 4. Console.log is .props.row. in console.log this.props.column. Not inside of a quote. Just as a regular variable. Log the variable this.props.row and log the variable on a new line, console log this.props.column. So now click in the first couple squares in the upper left corner. Yep. And yep. And yep. Yep. So now what we want to be able to do is make a new game. Cool. Click in the upper left square. The next thing we want to be able to do is tell the API, hey, for game 9615, the user clicked in the upper left square. Right? So in order to do that, you're going to want to be able to call the API, but then change the state. So this is where we say events flow up. So we need to tell our cell what function in the app are we going to call when the cell said, hey, somebody clicked on a square. So we go back to our board, and we make a function here, a sibling of render. Just like have our game and render, we're going to have another function. So make another function. Yep. Let's call this click, check, whatever, equals, it's a function. And what is the click going to need to know? Right. So give it the row and the column, have it take the row and the column, right? It's an arrow function. And for now, define it as console.log. I'm up in the app, string, up in the app, and have it log column and row on a new line. I'm going to avoid having you all type out. See, I hate these stupid pop-ups. Always get in my way. Love VS Code. Nope. So close out your console log. Make another console log and log the row. And make another console log and log the column.
Would it be just a variable in here?
Yep, row. See, you've got row coming in. You're going to log row. You're going to log column, just like you log that. So console.log row, and then console.log column. Cool. Now let's use it by passing it to your cell. So here's our function. We've got to give that function to the cell so it has it that I can call it. So on those three lines where you added column and row, we're going to add another property, click. Click equals this.click. Just like you did 0 and 0. This.click. We're telling the cell you've got another property called click. Its value is the function to call when you click. So repeat that 2 more times for the other 2 cells. Make sure you got the whole thing. I'll give that to column and row, column and row. Now, let's go back to your cell. And rather than console log, let's get rid of all those console logs and replace it with this.props.click. That's the function to call. Nope, not inside of interpolation. Just call the this.props.click function and pass it the row and the column. So now inside of the cell, where does the row and the column come from? Where are they to be found? Nope. So listen very carefully to everybody. There are 3 places so far that we know data can come from. Sorry, there's 4. Variables that we make, that's way number 1. Arguments to our function, that's way number 2. In a React component, properties and state. Let's go through these one at a time with Alan. Get the tooltip out of the way. Do we have arguments that tell us where the row and the column are? Yes or no? Show me what line they're on. Where's our function? Do we have arguments that tell us no? Do we have variables where we created the row and the column? No. Do we have state that tells us the row and the column? Do we see this dot state somewhere?
No, we have props.
We have props. So you got to go through all four of those and figure out where the F are my row and column coming from. Do I have variables where I made them? Nope. Do I have arguments where I can get at them? Nope, because here's my function. Do I have a state in the cell? Nope, I didn't do set state somewhere. Therefore, they must be coming from props. You've got to go through all of your sources of where information can be coming from and figure out where is this information coming from. Right? We know that we're passing down props value, and we know we're passing down props row and props column. So this should be this dot props dot row and this dot props dot column. Right? Those are the places information can come from. Variables we make, arguments of the function we're in, properties or state. So now, if we make a new game, go to your app and click on Easy Game. Go to your browser, Easy Game. Click in the upper left cell. Click on the one to its right. Click on the one to its right. Cool. Right. Your rows and columns in your code on line 73 to 75 are backwards, by the way. I just noticed this. It's the row is row and 0, 1, 2. So that's column 1, column 2, row 0, 0, 0. Row 0, 0, 0. Cool. So now when we click, we should have things in the right place. New game, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Now we need to tell, what's the next thing? We've got the clicking happening up in the app. We need to tell the API that we click somewhere. So instead of just console logging inside of our click function, let's go grab our active. Yep, that whole thing. And let's paste it after line 55. Copy that, and then paste it after line 55 or 54. Right? So now, let's go take a look at the API for clicking. For checking its squares. There's creating a new game. The next thing is going to be getting a game. There it is. So the URL has games, the ID, and the word check. So let's fix up that URL to show that. So games, and then slash, and then the ID. So $sign, this dot state dot, yep. And then after that is going to be what? Check. Slash check. And what are the arguments? What are the parameters? Row and column. Right? So instead of difficulty, get rid of difficulty and put row. No. So ask our 4 questions. Yeah. So local variables, arguments, state, and props. Check my arguments. I got my row and my column. So row is row colon row. Right, inside of those braces on 57, row colon row, comma, COL, because that's what this wants, COL, and we're getting our COL from your column variable. Save this, go back into your game, click on Easy Game, click on the very first upper left cell. Boom, we're playing minesweeper. Right? So now you just need to repeat this for flag. Right? On context menu, pass on the flag function, repeat that for all of your cells, right? You're going to pass row, column, check, and flag to all your cells. Right?
Would that be output?
So that you just have to add some logic to your cell, right? Rather than just output value, or just blindly outputting. If you look at your cell, right? we're just blindly outputting whatever's inside a value. So rather than just blindly put what's in value, we have to have some logic here. If it's a star, I want a bomb. If it's an underscore, I want a whatever.
You can find that and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I will leave that as an exercise to the reader.
You're within the TD, correct?
You would do it inside, yep. I would probably do the logic outside of the TD, outside of the return, right? I would probably be putting like an if statement somewhere up in, I would have a line here or a switch statement, a series of if else statements. If this dot props value is an F, then my whatever is going to be a bomb. If my value is a underscore, then my whatever is going to be whatever you want the underscore to look like, right? Or a switch statement, or an object lookup. There's at least 3 ways of doing it.
Are we able to do, am I at the point where we do the math?
You should wait. Okay. Let's make a map for the first TR. So inside of that TR, do an open and close, after the, enter. Open and close swirlies, mustache brackets, return. No, literally press the enter key. Press the enter key. So we're going to map over the first row of the board. So we know the first row of the board is this.state.board bracket 0. So this.state.board bracket 0 dot map. So this is now open and close your map, parentheses. Now, so inside, this is going to get 2 things. It's going to get the row. We need another, yes, so we're going to need another set of parentheses because we're defining a function with 2 arguments. Row, comma, row index. Okay, and this is an arrow function. So after the first, so right there, arrow function. Open and close mustache. Press the enter key. Now, we're going to go through the first row. Sorry, that row there should say value. Yes, sorry, my bad. All right, so we're going through the first row, getting 1 value at a time, along with the row index. So inside of our map, we're going to turn that into a cell. So return, and go grab one of your cell examples, your very first nice full cell example. Grab that whole example. Yep. So now value isn't going to come from the state. Where's value going to come from? One of our 4 things. A local variable, an argument, a state, or props.
Props.
Nope. Even closer. Look. So get rid of your tooltips and look very carefully. Look nearby your code. Right. So start with your code and work your way out. Do you see a variable nearby that would tell us the value? Start where your cursor is and work your way and expand your mind outward. No. Look at everybody. Look at row 82. Look outward from 82 until you see something that talks about value.
I see it right there.
Yeah. So values where the value's going to come from. That's where your value's going to come from. So get rid of this state board value.
Literally just put value in there.
Value. You're doing that. Right. Oh, my bad. This is not the row index. This is the column index. It's not that. This one is the column index. We're not doing a double app yet. Now I've got the row and the column. Instead of 0, what can I put here?
Column index.
Column index. It's not stable here. Because we're not closing the TR. Nope, we're closing the TR here. Oh, and now you can see all these lines. A6 through the end of 93 can go away. Right?
Oh, wow.
So now the first row is dynamic. Right? Yeah, so you can repeat this, the inside of this TR, and replace the inside of this TR with that. So you either grab the entire TR or the contents. your choice.
Yeah, I was gonna do.
Copy that and then paste it, repeat it. And change all those zeros to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Forget the row. Don't forget the row. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7. 4, 5, and 5.
Can you start with the row instead of in column?
No. Because remember, we're replacing the contents of a row with a column. When we're done, what are you doing? Oh, you need one more? Cool. So now that we've done inner columns, we can do the outside rows. You're missing something. Expected corresponding JSX tag. You're missing a TR. Oh, you've got a TR there. And you got a TR instead of a TR on line 118. Save. Nope. Yep. So when you did your copy, you grabbed too much or too little. So make a new game. Start clicking places. Boom. Right. So now let's get rid of your TR duplication. So after the T body, before the T row, right? Open and close a bracket for JSX. Press the Enter key. Now what we want to do is we want to iterate over the board itself, right? Because we have an iteration over each row in the board. We want to iterate over the row. So this state.board map.map, open parentheses again. Nope, so you were right, open parentheses. Now, the first thing it's going to get is the row. No, open parentheses, not braces. And one more, yeah. So now the map is going to get a row at a time, because that's what a board is made of, comma, a row index. This is an arrow function. So, yeah, arrow, open and close mustache, return, open and close mustache, enter. Okay, now return, space, open and close parentheses, press enter. Go grab one of your this.state.board zeros and copy all of that, the whole thing. No, that's not the whole thing yet, not yet. One more down. That whole thing, copy that inside of the parentheses and return that. Before line, beginning of line 2, return, no, the word return, the keyword return, R-E-T-U-R-N, that's return. Now, we don't have this.state.board 0, we have the row, so replace this.state.board 0 with row. Right? And now if you find your row on the next line, right? That's not 0, what's that? That's row what?
Index.
Row index. Yep, typo. Yep. Now we can get rid of all those extra TRs. I'm sorry, all those extra TRs can go away. Okay, and we have some kind of issue. Save this and see what it says. You have an extra return. You have an extra return. Get rid of this outer return on line 8. 81 and 85.
81 to 85.
Delete line 85 and delete line 81. Get rid of the whole line and get rid of that whole line. There we go. Now, oh, sorry, undo that. My bad. What we need now is around this return here, we need a TR. We need our rows. So after that, we need a TR to enclose our TDs, our cells. So TR. Yep, and put the closing TD after line 85. Yep, and surround line 83 before the return here on 83. Before the R, put an open mustache there, and put the closing mustache after line 85. Let's see. Get rid of the word return on line 83. What it's called. Yeah. I love VS Code, but I hate the pop-ups. There we go. So now you can try a medium game and a hard game. Well, you're overload. Make your browser a little bit wider. Just make your browser a little bit wider. There you go. Just click on some squares. Yep. Boom. That is a functioning minesweeper game.
I can still go back and do the 5.
Yeah. There's a couple things. So, you have errors in your console that relate to React. Let's use Allen's to fix all the errors. So the very last one I see is th cannot appear as a child of table. Right? That's on board 70. Where's 70? So that th has to go inside of a t head. You need a t head separating your table and your th. No, this is your t head. Yep. And the th has to go inside of there. So, yep, cut that and paste it after the th. Cool. Th cannot, so now you need a tr inside of your t head that your th goes inside of. Tr inside of the t head. This is proper HTML. Tr. Yep. And put the th inside of there. All right, so look at all the stuff that the browser was letting you get away with. Cool. So now we get something that says, look at this. Each child in an array or iterator should have a unique key prop. Yeah. So every time we create a map of components, React is saying to us, like, I don't know what order these should come in. When we declare cell, literally in our HTML, React can keep track of which cell goes where. When we do it inside of a map, React loses track of what comes first, what comes second. So we have to give React some help. So if we look inside of our map, what it's asking us to do is add another property to that cell. So find your cell component where it's declared. And it's asking us to add one more property called key. Key equals, right, in an open and closed mustache. And what it wants is something that's unique to this cell, right? So we can either give it something that's unique to the cell, like the row and the column, or we can just give it just the column index. It only has to be unique to that grouping of cells. So the column index is enough to make this unique. So inside of here, if we say key equals column index, that will be enough to tell React where that is. So now we got to do the same thing on the TR. So the TR also has to be unique. So we need a key there. What key should we use here? Row index. Row index. Save this. Hey, we have an error for React. Yep. So just follow what those are, right, and figure out what we're going to do about them. So now you should be able to make a difficult game or a hard game, right? Yeah, so So now I'll leave it as an exercise to the programmer to implement things like don't let yourself click on a cell unless you're playing a game. When the game state changes to won or lost, have the user interface refresh itself. Part of your board at the very top of your board.js, there's a state that's new, playing, won, lost. So now add something to your game that when that state becomes won or lost, updates the user interface in some way. Puts a big skull and crossbones or the dancing percent, right? When you win or you lose, right? Make it so you can't click on a cell unless you're actually playing a game already. Change the elements from Fs and ats and stars to pictures of flags and other such things. Those are the things that you could work on from this
In
point.
order to do, just to make sure I'm on the right track with what you're saying, in order to do that, I have to declare what a win state is,
It's going to tell you that if you keep playing, here's what I want you to do. In your browser, here, React tab. Your React. Click on the app. Expand the app.
Oh.
Actually, just make your browser a little bit bigger. Expand. Cool. And then make a game. And just like randomly click until we lose. If you click on the app and click on the app here. Oh, it's your board. Your stuff's in the board. Click on board. Yes. See the state. So game. So see the state is new. Click on a cell. See the cell is playing. Click on a bomb. State lost. So all you need to do is look at your this.state.state. And when it's new, playing, lost, or won, render your screen differently somehow. So somewhere in your code, you're going to have like an if statement or a switch statement or some kind of thing that says if it's lost, I don't know, change your background from Beavis to Butthead, right?
Cool.
Or change the state to an animated fire, whatever it is that you want, right? But you're going to use this state changing for lost. Maybe you change this text to red or green by changing the class name dynamically. That'll probably go in his board. There's a component called board. So you don't need a state. You just need to use that to determine what to do. Yep. Right, and then maybe instead of just in your cell, look in your cell. Right, rather than just outputting this.props.value, use this.props.value to look up what you want that to be. So you could use that to do a background image, right? Maybe you have a class name that's going to be checked, flagged, empty, lost. Or you can do what I did, which is look at the value, and if it's a star, replace it with the emoji character for a bomb. If it's an underscore or an F, replace it with a flag emoji character. An actual character. That's the way I went. But you can also do it with background images, etc.
So you just change the state of whatever.
I essentially did an if this.props.value equals star, then set a variable to a bomb. If this.props.value equals an F, change a variable to a flag emoji character. And then instead of outputting this.props.value, let's try it. On a line after line 7 but before line 8, do let output equal this.props.value. Output equal this.props.value. On another line, say if this.props.value, and you have to do it inside of parentheses. If that 3 equals, no, inside. This is why I wish you all were using the shortcut thing. I don't know why it doesn't have it. Equals the string star. So make a string. Just a plain old string. Star. Nope, the asterisk. What's going on? Nope, no, literally delete the star. Delete the word star. Yes, Shift 8.
Oh.
Nope. Put the string back. Shift 8. There we go. We got it. We're there. And after the parentheses, open and close braces. Enter. Hit save. Inside of here, say output equals. So I want to get you in the habit of indenting first. Right. Get in the habit of indenting first. Output equals. Now make a new string. And I want you to go to the keyboard viewer.
Keyboard viewer?
Yeah, so the way to get the keyboard viewer is go to your system preferences. Yeah, go to system preferences, keyboard. Go to show keyboard in emoji viewer in the menu bar. Click that on. Up, left, down, 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 down. Click. Now go back to your editor. Now go back to your menu and see there's a new icon in your menu. All the way to the right. All the way to the right. One more. A little bit more. A little bit more. There it is. Next to your Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Click on that and say show emoji. In the little search field, type bomb. Double click on the bomb. There we go. Close that. Save. Now, instead of this.props.value, output. Replace this.props.value. This.props. Output. Save that. Now play your game. Make it a game. Fire. Yeah. Minesweeper. Click on a bomb somewhere. Right? Now we have bombs instead. That's probably the easiest way. So pick out something for an empty square, pick out something for a flag, pick out something for a checked flag, all the different values. You can see in the API all the different values that it's going to do. Just have a different if statement for each of those values. Now you're outputting something other than just what the API gave you. If you want to get fancy, instead of an if statement, use a switch statement.
Fancier is use an object.
Yeah, this fancier use an object.
And this .props.value is the key into that object.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Yep. Cool. So if we didn't get a chance to work on your app and you want to work on your app, just come find me in a little bit and I'll work with you on your app. Your homework for that is a blog post. It's blog post day. What I'd like you to also try is start your app over. So make another Minesweeper Create React app and see if you can go through the whole process again. You keep your other app open as a cheat sheet. Yep. Right? So see if you can start from just designing the HTML, then replacing your hard-coded HTML with hard-coded state. Then create a component. Then add props for rows and columns. Then add click handlers. Then pass down the functions. Then hook them up to the API. See if you can repeat what we did here on Dave's and Mike's and Alan's. Again, if you get stuck, you need to kind of ask me, hey, what should I do next? Or peek at your code to see what you did next. Right? Just try and peek at it. Don't copy something. Just peek at it. Oh yeah, that's how I pass down row and column. And then come back and do it again. Right? The more you can repeat the act of creating this, even if you don't get to all the way to fancy bombs and background images and whatnot, if you just go through the practice of repeating the process, it will come easier the next time you have to do something like, oh, we're not creating a Minesweeper game, we're creating an employee database app, right? Or we're doing Hangman or Connect4 or any of the other React apps you might make. All right. So I would suggest finish whatever you're going to finish, right? And then try this afternoon remaking the game. Literally start from create React app minesweeper 2 and see if you can push yourself through the process of being explicit, then being explicit from a hard-coded state, right? Then drive that from the API, then extract components, then pass down props, click handlers, pass down events, connect those to the API, your game is done.
Well, did I go too much by making a board component?
No. I mean, if you look at your app, right, all your app is the board. So maybe, although, right.
Maybe you're going to put a header and a footer around the board.
Yep.
I did that in board.
Yep.
Actually
Yes.
make headers
Yep.
and footers rather than just have, like,
Right.
make this a header.
Yes, your board
Yes.
component should be this.
Mhm.
Oh, that's a table head. And table
Yeah.
footer.
But you could pull that table head out and just make it a header DOM in the board. But now what's going to happen is, right, the state is going to have to move up into the app. And then your board is going to have to flow down into your board as props.
Props,
Right.
So I might do that. Just
Yeah.
See if I can.
Right. I would suggest, right, start with a simple thing. Right. The better practice for y'all is going to be, can I recreate this again, just flowing through? So I would suggest finish it to the level that you're decently happy with. Right. You don't have to have every bell and whistle, but take this one and at least get it to the point where you can at least play an 8x8 game. I can click and I can flag, right? And maybe somewhere on the screen I say won or lost. At least get it to that state. Then create React app minesweeper 2. Can I rebuild this by flowing through the process? And then maybe on that one you push it all the way through fancy graphics and emoji characters and changing the colors when you win or lose, all that kind of stuff. But it's better to get practice of recreating it than it is to like make the rest of it snazzy, right? You're going to have time, right? If you go back to, Alan, go back to your Minesweeper game. So you're going to have time. This is going to be one of your portfolio apps, which it probably should be, right? Come back and ask yourself, like, is this the app? Is this the state of the app that I want to share with the world, right? If they come to like gavinstark.com portfolio, and you've got a thing where it's like, hey, check out all my cool apps, and one of them is Minesweeper, right? Are you done styling this? No. Maybe yes, maybe no, right? But you're going to have time later on to come back and tweak this, right? So get it to the point that you're decently happy with it, right? And then just repractice, because you'll have time to polish those edges later.
So don't worry so much about like the CSS and stuff.
I would worry about, I mean, I think you're at the point where you've probably worried enough about CSS, right? And then it's better practice just to start the app over and see how far you can push yourself. And then pick one of the two to be your portfolio version. And like when you've got time in a week or two, come back and tweak up the CSS, right? Worry about margins and paddings and fonts and pick a different background image instead of, you know, Beavis and Butthead, right?
No, I will.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, if you want it, then that's awesome.
Definitely schoolwork and then like business.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. So, but now it's just the practice of creating the app more so than it is the pretty edges.
I enjoyed that.
Cool. Question?
Can I push the surge? Because I did the
So it's
Yarn
yarn
build,
build, surge build.
did not work. I went and copied the link from Surge and
Yes.
the walrus came up.
Okay, we'll take a look.